Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Let's start off with go ahead and subscribe, like, turn on that notification, and comment something positive. So let's begin. How are you doing? You know, when you see Come Knit with Me, when the notification comes on, you know it's time for you to take some me time, sit down, relax, and grab your needles. Today is Father's Day, June 21st, 2020. For all you fathers out there, happy Father's Day. I hope you're enjoying a quality day with your family and with your children. For me, my father is no longer here. He passed away many years ago. So today is all about the memories. Miss him dearly. But him and my mom created such an awesome life for us. My sister and I have some awesome memories. So that's something no one can take away from you. So as you can see here, I have started a new project. And like I said, I never know what my projects are going to look like. I just start knitting, and as I knit, I start creating. I don't have a plan, I don't have a script, I just knit. So this actually is leftovers from a project. If you remember the last project I was doing. So these are some leftovers, and I'm combining them. And I'm actually loving the combo. It's time for me to go invest in some more yarn. But I usually, when I go out buying for a project, I usually get about 5 or 6 7-ounce bundles. So then that way I can, that's the start of a project. And we'll call that like project number 1. And then I'll do project number 2 with the remaining amount and just kind of mix the colors. So have you grab your needles. I'm thinking about the next project to be in the gray family. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. Usually when I get there with all the many choices, I actually get overwhelmed and want to get them all. But a lot of times if I go into the store and with an idea of what colors I want to play around with, I can stay focused that way. And I do. I will get, like I said, they're usually 7-ounce bundles, and I'll get about, usually about 5 or 6. And then I'll come home and I'll start. I'll start with my base color, and I'll decide from there what to do. And I just create as I go. So yesterday I was able to take a video, and I actually posted it here on YouTube. I went to spend the day with my daughter and my grandkids and my son-in-law. And her backyard is the woods. So go ahead, like I said, turn on your notifications so you know when I do post. So I was able to have an enjoyable day yesterday with them, hanging out with them. And I usually, every time I go over there, try to sneak a video of the backyard. It's so relaxing. I did take my knitting needles and I did pull them out. I usually when we're sitting around talking, just me and her, or we're just having family time talking. We might be watching a movie, but yesterday we were just talking and catching up because with Corona, with COVID-19, we've been all kind of segregated. So we're just starting to get back into our groupings slowly but surely. And so while we were sitting there talking, I pulled out my needles. So we just talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with all my finished products yet. I'm thinking about listing them on Mercari. So that's what I'm thinking about that. Either Mercari or eBay. I'm not sure. I have actually sold things on Mercari. I have not sold anything on eBay. Have accounts on both. And I actually have an account on Poshmark, but Poshmark is loaded with clothing, shoes, and accessories. So I'm not quite sure if I want to put my handmade items on there. Could put them on Etsy. I have an Etsy account. I have accounts everywhere. I have an Etsy account, but I don't know if I want to put them on Etsy. Etsy is strictly for crafts, handmade. So it's very saturated, which is not a problem because, like I always tell people, you're never going to have too much because each project is going to have the individual's personality behind it and the individual's vision. So, and most people, when they do knit, they have a pattern and they, follow a pattern. And what makes mine different, I don't follow a pattern. And I create my color combinations as I go. So that makes mine a little more unique than others. So, but like I said, I know Mercari, so I'm comfortable with that platform. So maybe right now I only have 2 that are already bagged up and finished and ready to go to a new home. This is my 3rd one, and all the other 6 or 7 of them that I've made have been claimed. My husband has what? 2. I have 3, and there's one upstairs. Because actually during during the summer months, I only need 1. And then during the winter months, I will actually use 2 or 3 to stay warm. But I'm enjoying this color here. I was very apprehensive of adding the blue, but the blue is gorgeous. My daughter, when we were together yesterday, we did a lot of catching up, so I think we covered every topic possible. Like I said, with the social distancing, I actually completely quarantined myself, partially quarantined myself in March. And when I say partially, because my husband and I did go out for groceries, with our mask, gloves, whole 9 yards, spray, hand sanitizer, wipes, And we still kind of do that now. We do go to doctor's appointments. So that was our quarantine. We did not see family, friends, The only time we talked to each other was either online video chat, or texting or calling. And, but we didn't see each other all of March, all of April, all of May. Towards the end of May, I think the last week of May, what is this, June? About the last week of May is my first time that I went over to my daughter's house. It had gotten to the point where enough was enough, got to go see family. So we did, we talked about everything. So it's always nice when I go over there. The ride there, it takes me about, let me say, about 45 minutes to get to where she lives. And the ride there is absolutely beautiful with the trees and everything. And yesterday was such a beautiful day. Oh my God, just like I talk about on this channel, you have to take some time out for yourself to relax and release. You gotta have you time. The ride up there was beautiful. Then, like I said, she lives in the woods. And sometimes you just have to do what you have to do for you to relax. So how have you guys been? For those of you that had not done it until you saw my videos, have you created some time? Have you been taking time out for yourself? And that time is going to look different for everyone. I knit, I walk, I plant, I paint. Those are my outs. Some of my outs. Those are me time. Yours might look different. Yours might consist of meditation, praying. But I really, really do find that creating, you can't create and be angry. You can't create and be anxious. You can't create and be mad and in a bad mood. You can't. So by creating, and my creation of choice right now is mainly knitting, by just sitting down, grabbing my needles, everything that possibly could go wrong starts dissipating. Because now I'm focused on not messing up my project, and I'm thinking ahead of what color I'm going to have, what combination is it going to be, and to watch it increase. Just imagine I started with one row right here. And you go back and forth, back and forth. I'm doing the knitting stitch only. And so far I've gotten here. I think I started this yesterday. Actually yesterday. So I started it yesterday. So when you grab your needles, and like I said, I knit. So everybody who knits can relate. But it could be, when I say grab your needles, it could be your crochet needles. It could put your needle point. Or anything you do to get your mind off of things and to focus on creating, relaxing, taking a deep breath and exhaling. I've been knitting for a while, so this was perfect when I would nurse the babies and they would go to sleep. And if I could not go right to sleep when they slept, grab my needles. Typically, if I'm really tired, I grab my needles before I start knitting good. I would be dozed off. That's the same with me at night when I wind down. I turn all the lights off but one light. Some people read, and I will grab my needles. There'll be something on TV, non-related to any of the activities going right now. No news. Typically, it's YouTube. If not, almost 99% of the time, it's YouTube. Right now, I've got something on right now. His name is Matthew, I think, Posa, Posa, and he does camping videos. So I like to watch a lot of outdoorsy videos. It's relaxing. So yeah, once you get your needles, your brain and your body will signify that it's time for you to just think about just you and your needles and what you're creating. And once you put that energy into that, it's like everything else kind of gets pushed back in the back. And it's not driving you to the anxiety that you're very anxious right now. We're practically got a race war going. We have protesters still out there. There's still looters out there. People are still being killed. People are still dying of diseases, including COVID-19 and other diseases. Our world is not the way it was in 2019. So there's a lot of things to be anxious of right now. People are still unemployed. People's businesses have actually been destroyed. People have been asked to go back to work with the virus still full force. A lot of anxiety. So you've got to just stay healthy mentally and physically. Because if you're not healthy physically, it affects you mentally. And if you're not healthy mentally, it's going to affect you physically. So you have to figure out a way to combat the anxiety that is being created for us. We have to digest it and we have to know how to just move on from it. So instead of getting stuck, as I talked about in another one of my videos, in that hamster wheel. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, when you get a pet hamster or a pet rodent that's small enough to get in a wheel, you usually buy them an exercising wheel to put in their cage so they can have something to exercise in rather than running around your house and getting lost. And they just go around and around and around and around and around. And that's sometimes like our life, our thinking. We call it the rat race. You go to work, you come home, you go to sleep. You go to work, come home, eat, sleep, go to work. That's a rat race. And that's the same thing with the news and all this mess going on right now that we have no control of. You can either get on that bandwagon, you can get on that wheel, you need that rat race and watch the news and let it depress you and listen to all the bad, 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 bad. Or you're going to subscribe to this channel, you're going to like this channel, and you're going to turn on your notifications. And when I post a video, that this video is going to help you get into a positive light and get off of that cycle of negativity, cycle of fake news, cycle of just listening to all that information that does nothing positive for you. It only causes you to be anxious, angry, scared, and nervous. But when you pick up your needles, and remember, it could be anything. Some of you out there create jewelry. You might get your cases of beads, and just turn on the video. And together, we're going to keep each other positive. It doesn't matter what you do. Like I said, it's going to look different for everyone. So you make jewelry? Awesome. Go ahead and make your jewelry. Like I said from the beginning, this channel is all about keeping you focused on being positive and taking care of you. What you like to Oh, you're a painter? Awesome. Get those paints out. It's time. And if you can't do it with me, you can at least turn on the video when you've got your household quiet and you're able to take some time out for you. Because when I stop the video, I'm still knitting. So yeah, I went back to my grandsons. I have two grandsons and actually a granddog. My grandsons are, my firstborn is 16, and his brother, my second grandson, is 10. And my granddog is a she. Her name is Charlie. I think Charlie now is about 6 months, 6 or 7 months. Lately, I've been watching a lot of videos about clean with me, and all they do is get on there and clean. Awesome. As my channel began to grow, probably when I get to about 100 subscriber, I'll start putting in my description other people's videos and shouting them out. But I've got a ways to go. I've got to grow. So my start color in this project was brown. Because like I said, I usually buy 5 or 6 skeins when I do go purchase. And I had bought brown, and it didn't fit into the project that I made, the initial project. So I had it left over. So I said, okay, brown is going to be my start color, and we'll work from there. Always got to figure out my start color. And if I wanted to do the multicolor, this project I'm not doing any multicolor yarn, just working with the solids. What are you working on? Put it in the comments. Now, what kind of crafts do you like to do? During this time, when you hear the notification that Come Knit With Me comes on, and you hit that start button, and it's time for you to start relaxing and clearing your mind out. What are you doing? Are you knitting? Are you crocheting? Are you painting? Are you doing needlepoint quilting? Are you making jewelry? Drawing? What are you doing? What do you do to create for your quiet space? Let's see where I am. So I am, for those that don't know about knitting, you knit up one, it's about transferring the stitches from one needle to the next. So right now I'm taking all the stitches off of this side, and I'm putting them on this needle. And then I'll take all the stitches off this needle and transfer it to this side. So for you guys out there, what you're doing for Father's Day, I think my daughter and the grandsons were taking my son-in-law to brunch. She texted me and said this was the first time they took her temperature before she went into the restaurant. And then they were going to go to Top Golf. So, and we would be out doing something with our dad, but he's in heaven now with my mom and all my ancestors that have already transitioned on. Miss him a lot, though. So this day could be a very depressing day, but I won't let it. You are in control of what you allow in and how you react to what around you. You are in control. Nothing controls you to the point that you cannot stop it or start it. So a lot of times bad things happen to people because they started it. And I know people don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. Bad things happen to some people because they started it. And at that point, we have control of how we react to any situation. And our reaction can cause us grief, or our reaction can build us up. And sometimes it's just keeping our mouth shut. You know, during this hot season with the elections and the virus and the protest, and everybody seems to be so angry for one reason or the other. You know, I'm responsible for my actions. And the way I control my world, I just keep my big mouth shut. I know everybody's like, well, we have speed, everybody has freedom of speech, and I can say what I want to, but sometimes that causes more pain than good. And sometimes keep your mouth shut. Because remember, it's your opinion, so it really doesn't mean anything. It's not going to change what's going on, and it's not going to change other people. So why even bother? Unless you purposely want to make people angry, then you have to be prepared for the results or their reaction because you created that situation. Or just, so I want to make this brown up here a little longer. So see how all my stitching is on one needle. I'm getting ready to transfer it to this one using the knit stitch. I think the two initial stitches are knit and purl, and then you can combine those stitches to create different patterns. Or you could call it the front and back stitch, like this is the front stitch, and the other one is where you put the yarn on in front of the needle, that's the back stitch, but it's called knit. I'm doing knit. The other stitch is called purl. So, and I'm not trying to make different patterns. I like working with two needles. I use just a basic stitch, but my goal is to combine colors and see what the end results are, because sometimes you can't see the end results until it's over. Like I was very, very apprehensive adding this blue, but now I'm thankful I did. I only added the blue because I have a little bit left, so I don't like to waste yarn. So I have my initial creation and then I create a second creation with the leftovers from the initial creation. So remember, your life is miserable because of some of the choices you have made and your reaction to some of the things that happen to your life. So in order to change that, you have to change your choices, make different choices, and you're going to have to learn not to react so negative to situations around you. For example, a lot of the protest is a reaction to a lot of anger. Now, I did not say they had a right to be angry because you do have a right to be angry. And some of the things they're protesting about, yes, they have a right to be angry. But then it comes, now it's time for you to control your reaction. Peaceful protest is fine. But when you start destroying other people's property, that is not fine. That is not okay at all, ever, for anyone. So if you're, remember to comment on what projects you're working on right now. Oh, I forgot there's candle makers, there's perfume makers, you might cook. Oh my gosh. That's your hobby, that's your creation, that's your happy spot. What do you do to relax? Guys, thank you so much for joining me and listening to me ramble. But through all my rambling, the main thing I want you to get off of this channel is to take care of you. Take care of you, not everybody else, you. So until the next time, be happy. Bye.